Hello, I am your host, Kathy Chester, and welcome to the Move It or Lose It podcast, a podcast about all things that move the mind, body, and soul. The Move It or Lose It podcast is for information, awareness, and inspirational purposes only. I am not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV, so please consult your doctor before making any medical decisions. The views expressed by advertisers, guests, or contributors are their opinions and not necessarily the views of the Move It or Lose It podcast.
Do you know anyone that is struggling with walking or any spasticity in their body? I know that I do with multiple sclerosis and many people that I love. Well, not too long ago, I came across a company called Pulse Devices. Let me tell you, nothing like anything else I've ever tried before. Pulse Device uses local vibration therapy, and it's based on years of scientific literature. It found the vibration to dramatically reduce spasticity and improve motor function for MS patients. Something, wow, I know that I can use and so many people can use. So if you want to pick up yours today, they're giving us at MS Disrupted, all caps, MS Disrupted, $30 off your Pulse device. Go grab it, see how you like it. Make sure that you use the coupon and don't forget, they are a great company. If you do not like the product, they will take it back with a full refund. Thank you, Pulse Device.
Hello, guys. Move It or Lose It podcast. We are back again. Today, we are doing it for the 40th time, Chris. No, the
No.
third. Okay. I've got Chris Hughes with the FootScientific. And we did try to do this last time, and it got a little mucked up. Recording. I
Technical
think we tried
difficulty.
everything.
Right,
Sound. You tried to do it on Google. What
right,
was it?
right.
And then we tried to do the
Yeah.
microphone. And I mean, you were amazing, patient, and everything. So I'm so grateful for you. But we've got it today. So I'm so
Oh,
excited to
yeah.
do this interview.
Me
I
too.
can
I'm
tell
really good.
it's just I mean, my excitement with doing this podcast is different patients, clients that are struggling and having their stories out. And I love having companies like yours that are doing things for us to make life easier, right?
Yeah.
So meeting you, I'm trying to figure out, do I have weights? Because obviously I should. But I love I love the connection between meeting you, talking with you, hearing your heart and what you've been doing and what this is. Um, and I forgot my braces. I'll run out and get them. And
I
but
know.
what I
I felt the exact same way, Kathy. It's just kind of like there's a kind of a natural kind of a resonance between I think our motives and and what we want to do
yeah,
and how we want to meet people where they are to help them, to improve
for
the best.
sure.
So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I loved it because when Ethan and I were talking at Pulse, he was like, have you met Chris? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you have to, because the two of you will be on fire. You will absolutely get along great. And he was right. The first time I
Uh,
talked to you, I was like, I could not imagine getting along better with someone.
And I'm
And
so glad I
so,
met Ethan too, and that he introduced me to especially, but also because the pulse works so well in conjunction with the brace,
yes.
and they kind of complement each other
Yeah,
and keep people, from further, weakening or atrophy.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And I've been wearing the Pulse device for a while now, and putting the brace on, it was like, wow, it's total marriage. It was like the parts that you couldn't, and this is like for us that I mean, I've had MS for 20 something years. You get
uh-huh,
lost in it after a while. It's like, I don't know, I was like 10, but
uh-huh,
having still, and I believe I'm still in relapsing remitting. I still can run, I still can walk. I can't run like I used to. Nobody's gonna say, hey, are you at a 7-minute mile? No.
right.
So, but I can still do those things. So for what you offer, what you give is that feeling like I can still do this. Maybe not how I
Yeah,
used to,
yeah,
but I can still do it. And
yeah.
that's, I think,
You're really pointing out something that's really important to me, and that is this kind of differentiation between like an outcome and a value. You want
yeah,
the And as we hit things, especially with chronic illness, and we don't know when the next kind of difficulty is going to hit us,
Right.
or how bad the uncertainty is difficult, but
Yeah.
it gives us an opportunity, in some ways, to really grow emotionally, because we move from like, oh, I need to have a 10% fat level and
Yeah.
run a 6 minute or 7 minute mile, to like, I value taking care of myself. I
Yeah.
value, the process itself, and so we don't get
Yes.
all hung up on the outcome as much,
Yeah.
but we can still set goals. But now we have we're less vulnerable, because
For
we're
sure.
focused on who we are, and not just
Right.
what we are. And so
Exactly.
yeah. So I like that
I
differentiation.
think too, Chris, is that I used to always tell, like, I tell clients now and stuff, and I heard this a million years ago, but don't keep doing what you did before the MS or before whatever chronic illness you have, because you're beating yourself up. I remember
Right.
I love baseball, and
Yeah.
the baseball came and went. I never saw it. My
Right.
optic neuritis couldn't see it, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Well, this sucks. I can't do this." And so I don't know why I thought running would be a great idea. Most MS people don't start running when they have it. I never
Right.
ran distance. I ran for sports.
Right.
So I thought I would do that. And many people were like, "Why?" And I don't know,
Yeah.
but it worked for me and I just
Exactly.
fell in love with it. And I think that's the thing is you want to try to
Yes.
do something you haven't done before.
That's exactly
And
right. That's the value of podcasts like this, is because it provides ideas like, okay, I can shift. I can shift to
yeah,
this. I'm not now, incompetent or unable. I still have value and capacity, and I can
right.
shift from this thing to this thing. And I can use some tools to help me. And it's okay
Right.
to use some tools. I don't have to be independent, 100% independent of any kind of help, emotionally,
Absolutely.
knowledge wise, or from even tools that are physical, and I can
Right.
function and work. So yeah.
What I love about your brace, the brace that you guys have made, is that here's the thing is that, okay, I can't do everything like we talked about that I could do. And I may be getting a little weaker.
Yeah.
Maybe my left leg isn't doing exactly what I want.
Right.
Okay, there's some grieving, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be. But
Right.
then pick yourself up. What can I do? This
Yeah.
brace allows me to walk longer, stronger,
Yeah.
safer, and I
Right.
can still do that instead of like throwing the towel in. Okay, it's all over. I can't do it.
Right.
That's silly.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So
I did my dissertation, for my doctorate, with chronic illness, and depression and social support. And there are so many things that people can do that makes a difference. And I'm glad that you consider the brace as being one of those. And it really is. We get a lot of
yeah,
spontaneous feedback, from people who are telling us, this changed my life. This
yeah,
helped me to continue to function. I can still do many of the things I
right.
was able to do before,
Yeah.
and without the worry of tripping. And that's really where the brace kind of idea started, is because,
Hmm.
it started with Dr. Fox.
Uh,
He's a surgeon, foot and ankle surgeon. A lot of his patients were coming in, with MS and other neurological
yeah,
issues, who weren't able to lift their foot, and he would recommend the traditional AFO. It was stiff,
right.
it was in the foot, it was bulky, it was
Yes.
unattractive.
I
And
remember.
and and frankly, he was concerned about them tripping, but people just weren't compliant. They didn't want
Right.
to wear that, and it's
Right.
hard to wear those. And so
I have 5 of them in my closet.
well, I brought one, so
Oh,
the
good.
brace is kind of, it's more streamlined. It goes around the ankle,
Yeah.
and kind of disappears to some degree,
Yeah.
and very light and very
And you
comfortable.
have different sizes.
Yeah, there's the it hits any size that you want.
Yeah.
Either brace. We have a child
Right.
adult size, but they both pretty much hit most ankle sizes. So that's
Mhm.
so that's helpful too. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a big deal. All right, Chris, I want to know about you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me about you. Where'd you go to school? Why did you decide to do this?
I went to school at Washington University in St. Louis for my doctorate and master's. Brigham Young University at BYU. That's where Dr. Fox is also the
Mhm.
foot and ankle surgeon for the athletes there.
You're a
Um,
crime. You're a partner in crime.
yeah, that's we're partners in crime from
Yeah.
that. and known each other practically our whole lives. So,
Wow.
um, it's, I went to Michigan. I actually was a year internship in Michigan.
I love
Um
that.
yeah, in Grand Rapids, and then, went into, private practice and, with psychology and had group
Mm,
homes, and got kind of got out of the, human service business and went into more of the, servicing, or rather, widgets, I guess you could say, and started with a surgical device with Dr. Fox and,
mm,
sold that, and then, he was just always looking for innovative ways to, help people who with
yeah,
itches that weren't filled yet, and
yeah,
and clearly this was one of them with the brace.
right,
He felt like this is something that really needs to happen, and
right.
we also had orthotics that were developed over
Yeah,
time, for
I
athletes.
love that. You gave me one of those. I love
Yeah.
that.
One for, people with high rigid arch and one for
Uh-huh.
people with flat foot. And
Yep.
so, that those were both, have been both very helpful in terms of correcting kind of foot
Yes.
deformities. And then a neutral arch, orthotic as
Mm,
well. But yeah, that's kind of been my journey. It's been a lot of, help trying to help people the best I can. And, that's why I was, pretty attracted to what you're doing, the
yeah.
fact that I think did you say you owned your own gym? Is that correct?
Yeah. So I owned like my big gym and I loved it, absolutely. But then it kept me from getting to my autoimmune clients, because
Yeah,
I always called it the dragon that could just not get enough food. And it was like, I say to an autoimmune client, let's do it tomorrow. But with that whole gym, it was just so much. And then before COVID happened, everybody was talking about, wanting to invest in the second one. And in my heart,
yes,
I'm like, no. And so when COVID happened, so many people were like so depressed. And I was
yeah,
think the only one that was like, I can breathe, I can think about like what I want to do. I can, the whole world in autoimmune was connecting. And I could
right,
really think about like, what do I want to do with this? And I
yes,
don't want to continue to do this big gym. I really want to get into more of the autoimmune world. I mean, why did I get all these certificates if I can't do it? So
right,
it
and
really
plus your
gave
life
me that.
experience, you have that
Right.
something you can offer that's so
Right.
so real to people, and that's, such a plus.
I mean, way before they even thought about doing that, I was taking my circuit training and doing it for myself and for others. Like, all right, this is so efficient. How do I turn this into something we can do that's
Yeah,
not too much? But so I really listened to and was starting to work with those in different countries because then it was like you could
good,
work with anybody.
yeah,
And so it was really neat. And I really got to kind of hone in my expertise and what I wanted to do. So then having the big ones come and say, like, we want the big franchises, we want you to work with us. And
yeah,
I'd watch it, and not that they're all bad, some of them are excellent, but
right,
I couldn't get that I couldn't do that experience where I was really watching because that's so important. Watching
right,
with their feet, where they were landing.
yes,
Was their foot turning a strange way? Were
right.
they going down? How do you do that when you send a DVD or I just aged myself. When you do it on, I didn't say that. Um,
Oh, I was gonna say video
when
cassette, so you're fine.
right when they're doing on demand or a
Uh-huh,
Zoom,
right,
but you're not watching them.
right,
And so
right,
it's like, here it is, go for it. And it's
right,
like they could be doing it if they have kissy knees. You have no
yeah,
idea what's happening. And so
yes,
I just couldn't get
yes.
past that. I needed to
Oh,
see
so good. Yeah, the personal touch. Well, that takes a lot of integrity to bypass, the
the
big
money.
yeah, and go for like what's actually
Yeah.
useful on the ground.
Yeah. I
That's
don't think they
really
liked me
neat.
so much when I did
Right,
that, but
right.
I was like, I have to do what's in my heart and
Yeah,
help the people that I can help.
right,
And
right. I think that's always the best. You start small. You start from where
yeah,
you are, what you can do, and then the word
right.
eventually gets out.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're helping people, and so
Yeah. For
that's fine.
sure. So
Yeah.
for you, do you think your background in psychology has really helped as far as because I feel like you are very empathetic. Do you think that's helped?
Well, I have my heart has really gone out to the people, especially with the chronic illness and the
Yeah.
neurological issues, because
Yeah.
I remember reading research where like a person would go to a doctor and they would find out that they had an illness, but they needed to check and see with the lab results, and they were more anxious before they found the results than after they found the
Yeah.
results, even if the results were positive. And it just kind of goes to, and that reminds me a little bit of the kind of the MS world where you really don't
Right.
know what's happening next. It's an ongoing
Yeah.
anxiety. And so my heart is really tender for that population.
Yeah. For
Um, and
sure.
and so I guess in some ways, but I am dealing with a product. I guess I could say that the real advantage for that is, like, if I hear the slightest thing of, like, okay, this isn't working exactly right, then I can't sleep. I'm all over it. And so we try to
Right.
embrace, and it's been a process. We're finally at a
Yeah.
point where we hear very, very few, if any, complaints, and people are
That's
just
awesome.
spontaneously loving it. And so
Yeah.
in that sense, it's been useful because I'm not a marketer. I'm not somebody who likes to be in front of people, and I'm not
I've
somebody
heard this about you.
but, but at the same time, I value, so that's why I'm so grateful to have met you, who have natural kind of feel for people,
Yeah.
and a nice way of interacting, and engenders trust. Because I've been focusing on, trying to make the brace the best as possible.
Sure.
It's fun. It's been a fun process, and similar to what you're talking about, starting with what you can do, um,
Right.
then and so our brace is sold on word of mouth, but I
Yeah.
haven't done a lot. I'm not really motivated to do a lot of marketing. I don't
Yeah.
that world. And so yeah, it's grown by word of mouth, and that's been fine. So yeah, I hope the empathy for the people's condition has been useful.
Yeah. Yeah. It is because it comes out in your voice, comes out when you talk. And even when one of my things weren't working, it was like, wait, we got to fix it. So I think that absolutely it does. And I think
Yeah.
it's such a big thing because, I've talked to people who have talked to different companies and said, like, this isn't working. And they're like, we're so sorry. And that's it. And I'm like,
Right. Right. Right.
wait, what? So
No.
it is, I think, a really big deal when
Oh,
they
I like to get
can
on the phone
connect
with
with you.
people. I like to talk to them, and if I need to, and whenever I can, and really get down to what's really working, what's really not,
Yeah.
what's helpful and what's
Yeah.
not. And I think
For
we've
sure.
figured things that have been useful for that reason. And so yeah, people were really good about getting if anybody has even if they don't like it for some reason,
Right.
just send it back. We're
Yeah.
fine. We just want people to be happy. Um,
Yeah.
the part of some of the things that the brace does that's been kind of unique is that
Yeah.
it can help with eversion and inversion
Yes.
by putting the anchors on either one or the other side of the
Yes.
shoe. So if you put them over
Yes.
here, you're going to get a little bit of a pull this way. Put them over here,
Yeah.
by eversion and inversion, with people whose
Yeah.
feet are naturally coming in or out.
Yes.
But then in addition to being able to, with the boa, um,
Uh,
to be able to uh, manage the height of the lift.
right. Which
Uh,
I think is so important because some people don't realize that. They'll go on Amazon and grab one because we feel like we have to, right? Because
yeah,
you go
yeah,
to the hospital to grab yours, and it's like the one that you need is 10,000. You're like, let me just write a check. And
right,
so I think that that's so important that people understand when you turn it, it helps that lift. And some of us need much more, but
right.
it's so neat to have that. And I think that, and with the e version, for me, I do that. And so if I'm walking too far, I'm going this way
Uh,
and I'm trying to get heaven forbid she sees a bunny rabbit. And I'm just like, Lord Jesus, here I go. I'm going down. So, you never, I mean, you have to go with what you have. And I'm walking this golden retriever, my therapy dog, not so much so, then when she's
yeah,
trying to kill
beautiful dog.
me.
Yeah,
But it's like she sees something exciting, she's going. And I have to be braced and ready. So it's like, yes. So anything, abs in, yeah, I go over all my stuff that I teach the clients. I'm like sturdy, ready, she's off. So
yes,
having that brace on and learning that that's got me steady is much more helpful than, okay, I'm going to slide this way. So there's so many things I think people don't understand if they've not used it because they're like, oh,
right.
another gimmick, another
Right,
brace.
right, right. No, that's true. That's true, and it's easy to think that, and that's why I like
Mm.
the idea of of the brace as an out of the shoe brace,
Yeah.
because it has uh, this ability to kind of to retain those fine motor
Yes.
the balancing muscles. So there's no
Yes.
atrophy on on all of this fine motor
For sure.
that are going on,
Yeah.
because it's not keeping that stiff kind of shape that a traditional AFO does. So people retain muscle mass better.
Tell
With-
me about the first person
And
that
that
you
works well
had
with the
with the
pulse. But
yes.
go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
no.
that MS ADD thing.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me about the first person or first couple that you had wear the brace and they were like, it is awesome.
Oh, I mean, that is so hard to track.
Sorry, it's my
I
job.
remember the joy. I remember the joy of getting spontaneous feedback from people. What we had some people that have been runners, who run marathons and who are still
Yeah,
running marathons. Uh,
that's what I'm gonna plan on doing.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. With the brace. And so to
Yeah.
hear about that, say, this is the only thing I could use to actually run the long distances. We have people who are
Wow.
avid hikers and climbers,
Yeah.
and they can use the brace. But also, just the people who are really struggling
Yeah.
with this. So it has quite a range of severity. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
we every week we post somebody on our site. We post somebody's kind of comment that came in, um,
Yeah.
that they really that it's been so helpful to their lives,
That's
and
really cool.
really the function. So yeah, it takes a little work on the very first time to put the anchors in,
Uh-huh.
but then after that, it's easy to put on,
Right.
and it's not it's not ugly. Is
Right.
it's not unattractive. It has a sleek look to it. So
Yeah, that's the best part is because we're the things that come out for us through the years have been so hideous. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, I'm gonna wear this. Should I wear it out to eat, to a dance, to a wedding? Because this is so attractive. So I
right.
think it's like through the years it's been like, but this is so great because it is so small and it's I love that it's black. Um, I don't know
Yeah.
if you're gonna like make a hot pink one. I would not be opposed to that.
We thought about making it flesh colored, just kind of so it totally disappears. And so, yeah, we're thinking about that. We're gonna have to, yeah, there's a lot of options that are, and as soon as there's the ability to do it, we're gonna be all over it. So,
The kids have always called me Pink Barbie. So I always love pink. So they're like, then when they saw the black, they're like, you love black because I do. But they're like, where's your hot pink? I'm like, I'll have to ask about it. But yeah, anything hot pink. I even dressed my golden retriever in hot pink. And she like tries to scoot from me. She's like, stop putting dresses on me. But I'm
I
like,
gotta do that. We
sorry.
gotta do it with the child brace too, because the kids
Oh,
need
they
something
love
fun.
that.
Yeah,
Polka dots and all that.
yeah, that's
That'd be
right.
really fun. So
Right.
I mean I love everything you guys are doing. And tell me about how you guys the marriage came about with Pulse.
Oh, so it's kind of like, again, I'm a little slow at getting the word out, but Pulse.
Ethan has got it. He's got you.
And that's typically what's happened, is that people have found us, and so and Ethan did, and he thought he saw it, and he said, "This looks really good." I think he liked the fact that it was down the same kind of line of thinking that you have and that he has,
uh,
which is let's take advantage of the functioning that people do have,
yeah.
and make sure that things don't get worse and that things can get
Yeah.
better, and the same idea of let's not create more muscle atrophy,
Right.
and let's kind of keep the stabilizing muscles strong. And so I think it seemed like, oh wow, this is like the perfect connection between this brace,
Yeah.
other braces out there, and since we came out, frankly, that are out of the shoe braces. Most
Yeah.
of them, and the cost, frankly, is less on some of those. Ours isn't exorbitant, but the materials, the sturdiness, it makes a lot
Hmm.
of difference, and it is a little bit more. But
Yeah.
but it's not that kind of flimsy thing that kind of folds up and
Right.
you
Right.
can get it, and then kind of breaks within a few months. This can go
Right.
for a year or 2 years
Yeah.
or 3 years. We can trade you can trade the lace out. So
Yeah.
that's
I
maintained.
think all of those are important. And the
So in
fact that
terms of the
you, if it's not
value,
working,
the
yeah,
value in terms of just use and over time, and the fact that it can go, the other braces that are out of the shoe can't function as terms of up and down
yeah,
with the tension. It's
yeah,
the value is much higher than that.
yeah. It's a
I
big
think
deal. And I
I
think
think
that
you
when
could
you
notice
explain
that.
it,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the way that, and they can also, if it's not working, they can return it. And I think
sure,
that's a
sure.
scary thing. It was that
Yeah,
when people, people that are like a lot of my clients are on disability, right?
right.
So I don't charge typically my autoimmune clients the same as I would because I know their situation. She
Yeah.
is just not leaving. She's like, I'm in here,
Oh, I
I'm
think
part
it's
of this.
awesome. It's
She's
so
a part of all
so
my
beautiful.
videos. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm with you.
Oh,
Um, but I do think that because of that, I think it's such a reassurance for them to know, like, if it's not working, I can return it because
oh yeah,
that's their
yeah,
month. That's a lot for them. And I think
yeah.
they're going to ask a lot of questions. They get nervous because they've been taken advantage of by
Uh-huh.
people who have said like, "Oh, it works great." And that's why I take it so personally to when I find something in someone like you, I'm like,
Yeah,
absolutely go for it because I'm
yeah.
doing it, I'm using it, and I 100% support it.
I
And
just wish there
so,
was more people like that because it is true. And some of the big companies are like that. They just want a product. They want the next
yeah,
product.
yes,
And because it's generating revenue. But boy,
right.
yeah, you find people who really just genuinely want to create something, and if it's not exactly right, like we spent, and it's kind of embarrassing, but we spent like 3 or 4 years because I just couldn't feel like it was good enough yet, and then we
Not
finally
embarrassing. I think it's
golden,
awesome.
got that golden combination of
Yeah,
things that finally like came together so beautifully. And I think,
yeah,
okay, that's it. We can feel happy, we can feel proud
yeah,
about this. But if there's a little discomfort, if there's a little bit of this or a little bit of that, or it wasn't quite working,
right.
we weren't going to get out. We weren't going to get it, put it out. And so
I
we're
mean,
working on another brace with the same kind of thought, and it's
okay.
just takes so long to just do it exactly right. And it was trips to the manufacturer and over and over and again. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's been fun. And that's what I see in you, Kathy. Just same sense of like
Thank you.
we're gonna do this for people, and we're gonna
Yeah.
do it right. And it's not gonna be the mass production just to make
Right.
something. Let's do something for people. And
Yeah.
if that means I have to say no to the Vasa chain or whatever, well, that's fine because
Yeah.
I want to really be in line with what people need. So
Absolutely. And the fact that it took 3 or 4 years, that I can say 100% makes us feel good because it
yeah,
means you weren't trying to like fly, make sure it flew out. It
right.
means that as much as that stinks, Lord knows I've had like things that I was like, we're pushing it out in January. And then I was
Right.
like, looked at it and I was like, nope, it's not ready. I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've had clients say, wait, when is that starting? I'm like, not now. It's not ready.
Right.
I don't like it. I
Good.
don't like the way it looks. I
Good
don't
for
like the
you.
way it's not hitting clients. And they're like, but don't you need the money? I'm like, absolutely. But I don't like this. It's not going to meet the people's needs that I want it to meet.
Yes.
So it may be next year. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
have to make sure it's set the way it needs to be.
Oh, I love
So
it. I love it. This makes me so happy. So
so
yeah.
I mean, it happens, and it's like
Yeah.
so people with autoimmune diseases that whether it's people with strokes, MS, they're gonna love that you waited because it
Yeah.
meant you
Okay.
weren't
Good.
like throwing it out there.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and then of course other people can come in and try to create something similar, but I don't think anybody has it quite yet. So
No, no, I can tell you they don't. So I for sure they don't.
uh,
So what would you say? I know I'm going all over the board, but I
oh,
know
you're
there's
good.
things I want to hit too. Um, to someone who hasn't done this yet, but like we talked about before, so I'm going to go back a little bit.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's this like, you don't know what it's like because you're not in a wheelchair. And I don't know. I don't know yet. Thank
yeah,
God maybe I never will. But
yeah,
there has to be stuff, and I'm going to start doing a lot more of that where I'm showing things that we can do because shoot, we should be proud of that. We should be excited
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
exactly, yeah,
I mean, I've worked my tail off since I was 18 to make sure that I would never have to be in this. I would not be in a wheelchair. And I pray to God that I'm not. And so I'm going to continue to work out and jump around
yeah.
and walk and try to run because I don't want to be in a wheelchair.
Well, and it's not to be fair to you, you've already had to take some losses and you know how to
Yeah,
do it. And you've had to make adjustments and you know how to do it.
right,
And that's why you looked at tools. That's why you look for and so it's
right,
like and so it's a pattern that it is a part of mortality and it's
right.
part of something that we deal with.
Yeah,
But we do the best from where we are. My daughter has Lyme's disease, hardly
yes,
getting out of the bed right now. It's been terrible.
right.
And we're working on it. We're doing different kinds of trying to find solutions. But when and she's a chef, a professional chef, can't work. But when she can get out of the bed, one for 10 minutes and actually make herself something, that's a celebration.
Yes,
And so yeah, why ever feel bad about where you are? Celebrate where you
right.
are, and if that's still highly functional, let's just
Yeah.
maintain that the best we can. That's the
For
whole
sure, for sure. And I
yeah,
think that's what I love too about the brace is that it allows people who are still able to be active to not feel like, well, it's not working right, I can't. It's actually allows me to go further and
yeah,
to do more. And I think that that is one of the exceptional things about it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so talk to me about what you see going forward and what you like to highlight the most.
Oh, let's see. I mean, I like to highlight the whole idea of the fact that it's adjustable. I like to highlight
Yeah.
that it's sturdy and yet light.
Yeah.
And I am looking now to something that I think is going to be fun for people who like flip flops.
Yes,
Or
thank you. What do you got?
it's not necessarily. I should have brought it
I
because
know, because 'cause I'm always loving flip-flops. I'm like, "I can't flop and flip. How do I flip and flop?"
um,
Doesn't always work on that leg.
we got the patent, so I don't mind talking about it, but but I don't care either way. It's simply a screw that,
Uh,
into the shoe or the
uh,
flip-flop from the side, it screws into the rubbery part of the flip-flop, and it's, well,
you're
it's
getting me
technological
excited.
it's pretty technologically cool how the lace can just kind of flip right into it on both sides. But when you wear the
Okay.
flip-flop with this brace, I swear the flip-flops are even more comfortable than without the brace.
Really?
Yeah,
So I won't just flip, I'll be able to flip and flop?
you have a of a flip-flop, but it kind of snugs the flip-flop up against the
That's
shoe,
awesome.
which I think feels kinda cool.
Because 'Cause I've tripped so many times because 'cause I'm like, "I'm not going to wear flip-flops." I love
Right,
them,
right,
but then the kids are like, "Mom," I'm like, "No, I'm not wearing the old lady shoes.
yeah,
Not
right.
happening."
Well, and you can wear this brace. This is one of the things when we did our initial research, it was the versatility, it was the
Uh,
attractiveness factor, and it was the comfort and the ease of
right.
use. And those are all important right off the bat. In addition, of course, to the fact that you lose your, some of the stabilizing muscles, but those are some of the important issues. And so the versatility has been important to us. So different kinds of shoes have been huge. So you can use the brace with any kind of shoe as is. It has to be a little bit
Yeah,
of a sturdy material, but not but every day the eyelets work
right.
on every tennis shoe that we've come across. Haven't had any complaints about that. But if you want to wear them with dress shoes, you can.
So you can just switch them out, right? The eyelets out so you can put them.
The brace comes with 2, anchors,
Mhm,
so that you can have it in 2 different shoes, but you can buy more anchors and put them in
yeah,
any shoes you want, and so, yeah. So, but they can go with sandals, they can go with shoes, and they can even go with flip-flops already. It's just that
uh,
this new little device makes it even easier for the flip-flop, especially for, flip-flops that you might be concerned about
right.
they're kind of, having too much tension on
Okay.
the material. And so, yeah, that's a kind of something that we hope to get out, within a
When are
with
you thinking?
I'm gonna say I'm getting some pushback because
No.
I'm getting some pushback, but because my partner said that's not gonna be something that's gonna because they're expensive to make. I don't want to sell them for much, and so
Right.
they're not gonna make money. I said I don't care. I've said this over and so it's the community. This is my
Yeah.
passion. This is the group, and so if it loses a little bit, that's fine. They will get more people attracted to the brace overall. I sell that, and
Yeah.
so I'm thinking within 8 months that we'll have it
Oh,
on.
it'll be past summer. I'm ready now. I want some now. I'm gonna wear them and I'll wear them
Okay,
all
okay,
summer.
thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm going to push this harder. Because
Good.
they are done and they are
Yeah.
beautiful, and I'm surprised at how cool they work. And so yeah,
Yeah.
so so
Yeah. Are
I,
you kidding? This summer would be great. That'd be awesome.
all right,
That'd be really cool. I'm so excited about the flip flop. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Love that. So what have the flip flop stuff, what have you like seen like this last year that has been like really exciting that you're like, this is working, it's going well. This is it. Like this is like super exciting.
In terms of the brace, it's just the thing that's been kind of cool. I mean, uh, uh, people have found us. I guess that's the most exciting thing is
Yeah.
people like you. I think it's really been just like Ethan. I mean, but more and more, because people are wearing it. They get the
Yeah.
word out. They tell their doctor, and so they're calling us. And so without me having to work too hard,
Yeah.
something that I really don't have a great passion for in terms of like being the face of something.
Right. Right.
It's been very exciting to see that people are finding out about us and to meet people like you has really been fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a gem, and I love
Thank
talking
you.
to you. And so it's been really kind of that's been the most satisfying thing is when people are kind of calling us. Uh,
Yeah.
and so we're starting to see that kind of that trajectory of more and more
Right.
people using it. I felt guilty
Yeah.
personally for quite a while we have we have this amazing product and I haven't been out there kind of pushing.
Right.
Um,
It's hard to push your own thing though. And I think
mm,
there's so many different
yeah,
things. Like I've had companies use people that don't have different autoimmune diseases, and it's really kicked them in the butt, because then those of us who do, we're like, that person doesn't even have it. So
right,
how does that help us?
right,
And I
right.
know that because I hear back from the community and stuff in my different groups and stuff. They're like, why did I keep picking her or him to do this? They don't even have it. So
Yes, yes,
I
it makes
think
all the
that
difference, of course.
absolutely.
And so to be able to talk to people like you who are in the trenches, who can say, "Yes, this is how it works and this is why." Um,
Right.
that's the most satisfying thing.
Yeah.
The past few weeks, just having met you
Right.
has been really energizing to me.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
ditto.
and then people internationally have somehow found us, and so we're getting
Yes.
people, we now we just recently got a distributor in Italy, a distributor in
Oh,
Spain,
that's so cool.
and so that's exciting, just
Yeah.
and I'm excited because more and more people actually get to use it. It's like,
Right.
okay, finally, it's not just sitting dormant, but
Right.
by a small group of people knowing about it and using it.
Yeah.
And so it gets out. So that's cool.
For sure. And
Yeah.
that's a big thing is that you want it to I remember the first time that somebody from England called and I was like, "Oh, it's getting out there," when I was training because you think like, "Does anybody know I'm doing this?" But
Right.
because it's like, "Oh, I've got this, I built it all up and it's like you just got to wait for it." And
Right,
so,
right. Because we built the business on, just our own, a spare change. And so,
yeah,
so
I
it's
understand.
kinda nice to see people kind of saying, "Oh yeah, well, that's worth it." So yeah,
Right.
and so that's been very gratifying. And so
That's really awesome.
really gratifying to work with you, Kathy. So
Yeah, thank
thank
you. Say I feel the same. And those partnerships I think are just great. And I love those. And so get ready guys because we've got a lot of work coming up. We're doing a lot of stuff together and I couldn't be more
oh, good.
excited to partner
Yeah.
up with you. It's just very exciting.
And if there's anything
So
you need, yeah, let me know on
thank
and
you.
I'll be immediately there. And if you need to get me on the phone, say, "Hey, this question happened," obviously, and if you
Yeah.
want me on the phone too, like, I'm really ready to hear and talk to people,
He
so
really is serious. Like I've texted, called, and he is like right there, Johnny on the spot. So I'm so grateful for that because it just really is a
I'm
part of
more
your
reactive than
personality.
proactive.
Yeah, it's true. But it is a joy to have met you. It's been a joy to like, I'm really excited to work with you. I tell my kids all the time, like, I'm so excited about this. And they saw the brace and they
Oh,
come
good.
in, they see all these things and they're just really excited about this. And so I'm just excited to do our next one. And I'm gonna be running around. So get ready because you're gonna see me moving all around with this brace and I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share it with others in our community, and then and the trust that they have that if I'm wearing it, then if I
Yeah.
share it, then they know like, okay, this is real. And I love being able to communicate with people in social media. You know what you love to do, not
Uh-huh.
and let them know like, hey, this is what I
Thank
found,
Yeah.
and walking in it. And I get lots of questions like, where did you feel it the most?
Well,
Those kind of things.
yeah, you were mentioning just today in the parks, people noticed that you had that
Yeah,
on. But see, but I think that's what's valuable is that you just kind of have a natural sense of like trustworthiness.
yeah,
And it would be hard to not believe your sincerity. And so that's such a credit to you and who you are. So
yeah. It was just a really neat thing. I was at the park, not neat that everybody had MS, but I was there and there was like 4 different people. It was like a dog party park,
mhm.
and they had different families had different family members with MS. And so they all saw, I had my pulse on laying up, and then I had the I had the brace on. They're like, either I was a bionic woman or they're like something. I'm like, I have multiple sclerosis, and this is pulse, and this is my
Oh,
foot
great,
stuff.
great.
This is my brace. This is foot scientific. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, this is like this helps me to get the lift. And they're like, I'm like, don't write it down. Just call me and I'll send it all to you. I'll show you all about it. Or
I
follow me on social media. And so they were like, these are so cool. We've never seen anything like this. I'm like, yeah, because you've probably seen the giant braces, like, and not they don't work. I'm like,
Yeah,
so it's really neat to be able to share that what works
yeah.
because we have so many people that are in pain and just frustrated, and they just sit, and that's when the atrophy sets in because they're like, I'm done.
Right, it's the discouragement, and that's what I've loved about you and
Yeah,
talking to you is that in spite of the challenges that you're facing, and I know you're facing challenges,
yeah.
you
What me?
you
Divorce?
you
What?
just like, just keep the next day, you just keep moving one foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
And eventually the clouds clear.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just, and you can't fall victim
Right.
to something that because you can't do
Absolutely.
the same level of performance that you were yesterday. You just have to keep
Yeah,
moving. And it's
yeah.
beautiful. And yeah, and that's where we start to really learn, the difference between, like I say, values and outcomes. So,
Absolutely. I know I want to interview you and your daughter.
oh yeah, that'd be awesome. She's
I
really
really do. I want because I love, with the MS stuff, but I love to interview the other different autoimmune diseases. And I haven't done one with Lyme's disease. I have
yeah,
friends
yeah.
with it, but I haven't done that. And I think it's something that a lot of people don't understand.
People don't understand it, and that's the thing too, is that when you have something like that and it's so vague and it's
Hmm.
and I'm sure in the initial phases of learning about MS years ago, it's the
Right.
same kind of thing. People don't understand that this is something very real. They
Right.
think, well, this is something that you're kind of that's in your head, or maybe you're
Yeah.
depressed. My daughters, they
Like
became
fibromyalgia back in the
right.
day. They were like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Yes, and that makes it so much harder and so
Right.
much and it also provides such an opportunity for scammers to come in and take advantage
Right.
of these kinds of things. It's a tough, tough world.
Yeah.
But no, she's not depressed. She wants to live,
Right.
wants to move. She's excited about things, but she's facing changes that are
Yeah.
that are very difficult.
Yeah.
And anytime we face a change, there's going to be an initial depression because that's just the
Yeah.
way we're built.
Yeah.
People coming out of Auschwitz, you think they'd be happy because they're liberated. They actually got depressed. I mean, that's a terrible example of it to use, but perhaps, but a sad one. But the fact is that they now had a change, and changes, regardless of the change, even if it's a change for the better, kind of throws us into a kind of a place where we have to readjust. Um,
Yeah.
but especially when we're facing changes that are difficult, and so we have
Right.
to adjust. And so for a while, yeah, you'll get down, and you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's
That grieving time, I think, is so important. You have to
important.
grieve it.
Yeah,
And then it's
yeah,
like, how do we move out of it? How do we then
yeah.
go up? Because
And
it's
we have
like,
to and we have to keep moving, or else
yes,
if we stop moving, if you don't move it, you lose it. Kind of,
yeah,
that's a good little slogan.
correct.
I'm gonna write that
I
down.
do think that, and I had a client with Lyme's, and I had a good friend with it. And I
Yeah,
think people don't understand the pain that comes with it. I think they
yeah,
just, I don't know what they think about it, but they don't really think it's a big thing. And I'm like, no, it really is. It truly, truly is. So yeah, we'll get it on the calendar. I would love to interview you both.
yeah.
And
That'd be awesome.
and the support, I think, of having a family with you is
Yeah,
huge. And
yeah.
I didn't have that. And so it's so big to have. I always
Oh,
love
yeah.
that when I see younger people with family that's there to support them. And so that's big.
Social support is everything. Yeah, it makes a big difference, to be there
Yeah.
for each other, and so that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, Chris, I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about the brace. This is going to come out very soon because I want it to go above some of the other interviews because I think this is something important, especially I think with our autoimmune diseases, there's two sides of spring and summer.
yeah,
There's people watching, everybody doing stuff, getting excited about the new season. Then
yes,
there's this anxiety because I'm not sure what I can do. Can I do anything? Am I going to be alone?
yeah,
Can I
yeah. We're
still?
gonna have another
And
episode. Yeah,
right. So I think this is the perfect time to show that I have this. If I got that, I could do some more. So I think
yeah,
it's a really exciting time to
yeah.
show stuff that we can do and things that are out there that we don't have to give up. There's things out there to help us. So I'm going to push
Yes,
this in
yes.
gear and get it out. So
You're
I'm so
awesome. Oh,
excited.
Kathy, thank you. Okay.
We
Well,
did it. We made it. We
yay.
did the podcast. So,
Okay.
Chris, I could not be more thankful to have met you and more excited to get this out there and to show people really how helpful this is that don't
Same
know
here,
about you.
really. Thank you so much,
So,
Kathy. Really good and
watch this.
talking.
Make
It's
sure
great.
you watch this one and
Okay. Now,
subscribe.
text me and tell me when that's on.
I
I
will. I'll definitely do that. I'll let you, and we'll definitely promote it. Don't forget to subscribe to Move It or Lose It. You can watch it on anything you watch a podcast on. So Apple, Spotify, you can watch it on YouTube, and I'll let you know. And also make sure that how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, so the website's always available, FootScientific.com. But don't buy anything from us until you listen, because she's going to get you a better deal.
Yes,
And
I'll get
so
you something,
that's
but I'll get you
that's
an
who we
awesome
are.
one.
And my email is chris@footscientific.com, and so that's available. I'm always happy to hear from you. And so yeah,
Don't
whatever.
get in a car accident. I will have it at the bottom of the show notes after. So don't stop and then don't stop on the side. Don't try to text it to yourself. I will make sure I have it at the bottom of the show
Okay.
notes.
Okay, you're awesome.
Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank
Hey,
you for being
Kathy,
on the
what a joy to
podcast.
talk to you. Okay, well, so hope to talk soon.
All right,
Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. You can stay on for a
okay,
second. Thank
yeah.
you guys. Don't forget, we'll be back again next week. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Move It or Lose It podcast. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed and left a review. Remember, you can find me on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. New episodes of the Move It or Lose It podcast air every other Wednesday. If you have any suggestions for future guests or topics, please visit my website at www.msdisrupted.com. Until next time.